The vision of this trip was born 2 years ago when coming home from installing solar light in Uganda. Charlene suggested that I plan an all-ladies trip for a Days for Girls distribution. A goal of 650 kits to celebrate my 65th birthday came to mind, so 5 gals from the Central Coast met up with 5 others in LAX, where we flew 15 and a half hours to Dubai and met the 3 other members of our team. Here we are with our 28 50-pound suitcases. We spent the night in Dubai and then took a taxi to the Gold and Spice souks the next day. We took an Abra boat ride on the Dubai Creek and could see the Dow transport vehicles that take goods to Iran. The contrast of the new and old was fascinating. Soon we found ourselves in a 4x4 heading to the desert, but not before we stopped at a camel racing arena. Never seen that before. They let all the air out of our tires, and soon we found ourselves dune bashing. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to be in for on this trip. We're finally all together and having a wonderful time. Enjoyed an absolutely gorgeous sunset. And then dates and tea were waiting for us. And we all had fun getting henna tattoos. Everyone also had a chance to ride a camel. We enjoyed a beautiful barbecue and then watched the belly dancer. The lights of Dubai were absolutely gorgeous on our way back to the hotel. We were certainly pleased that the pilot and steward eye were ready for us. 5.5 hours later on to Entebbe, Uganda. It was quite a relief to see the entire team with our feet on the ground. Our first stop was at Lake Victoria, where we saw some new sights, beautiful new flowers, got to know each other a little bit better around the table, and then met our 2 Ugandan team members, Auntie Margaret and Olivia. Some got to try some drinks they'd never had before, Navita, a citrus drink, Stony, which is kind of a ginger drink, and of course there's Nile beer. It's great. We saw some of the sights of the city on our way to our hotel in the jam. That would be traffic jam. We exchanged our $100 and it seems like you're a millionaire. We saw several folks carrying out their daily jobs on our way to meet a friend of my cousin's in Mikono, Travis Bogaire, with fredafrica.org. We left several gifts, and Janine Rucker and her friends gave him some of the 175 bead-making kits for women's empowerment. The remaining kits were given to Doreen at Hopeland. Here at Hopeland Junior School in Cthulhu, we installed our only hardwire solar system, and we had lots of curious, happy children to help. Timothy and Charles, along with our youngest team members, Shannon and Victoria, the job got done, and there was light on the new Women's Empowerment Center. One of our members, Marty, brought solar lanterns to give to the mamas, and they were so pleased. As a team, we also provided over 20 lanterns to many of the mamas in orphanages for use in the nighttime. We were also able to gift them to our security guards, Agon and Francis. The mamas there at Hopeland worked really hard to cook us a delicious lunch. There were some new flavors again for some of our members. There was posha, which is like a maize cream of wheat. There was some beef, well, that's what they called it. And this experience of the squatty potty was the first on our trip. Well, what is Days for Girls? Days for Girls is an international organization that has reached over 1 million girls and is in 112 countries. It's a reusable feminine hygiene kit that, if properly used, can last up to 3 years and help girls stay in school. It was such a joy to see the girls receive these kits so well. Our goal is to teach them how their bodies work, that menstruation is normal, and provide them the tools that they need to stay in school. They were so happy to receive the kits, the beautiful colors that send them, and what a joy to see them, just be so pleased with their new gifts. Everybody was excited to get these gifts. We measured the girls one by one to make sure that they had the proper size. And then there was quite the celebration and they couldn't wait to show us. Having an all-women's team was really wonderful because we could go through the kit and all the components with the girls and make sure that everyone really understood. This is the only place that we gave to mamas and they were thrilled. After we were done with our distribution, we were able to go out to the play yard and watch them on their jungle gym. Well, no jungle gyms necessary here. We played some fun games with the kids. We brought them frisbees and left several soccer balls for them. My husband and I sponsor a child here at Hopeland School through UFAFO. This is Esther and her mom, and it was such a joy to meet them. Before we left, we saw the children that live there do their laundry. Hard-working kids.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for that day. We wish you peace. We wish you joy as you go.
A beautiful sunset followed us to the UFAFO compound where Doreen, Valance, and their 3 children live. Bonnie Key and her friends contributed 10 audio Bibles, 5 in Swahili and 5 in Ugandan. We left 1 with Travis, several here with Valance, and 1 at Impact Church in Mbali. What a gift. Next morning, we went to visit some of the schools that Auntie Margaret has been teaching in. What a delight. We got to see the tippy-tap water system that allows the girls to wash their hands while in school. Margaret has also been instructing the girls to make their own shields and pads by hand with a needle and thread. What a humbling experience to see their hard effort. Just a lesson for me. We did our first teaching at Soft Power of a class with boys and girls. This was quite an experience and probably one we'll never repeat. We learned a lot of lessons, but had a great time. And again, it was such a wonderful thing to have so many women in the group to go around and talk with the girls and answer any questions that they might have. As you can see, they're very proud of their new kit. The next day, we divided the boys and the girls, and it went much better. They all asked many more questions when they were separated.
Drizzle, thunder.
Girls even elected a menstrual hygiene club with a president, secretary, and all. It was wonderful to see them act as a group and be pleased. Everywhere we went, we also had a trained counselor, Ann Martin, with us who provided EMDR therapy, eye movement desensitization reprogramming, using a butterfly hug to help children and adults process trauma and grief. After our day, we ended up at the Nile Porch, which is a beautiful place right on the Nile River. Some went swimming and even ate their hors d'oeuvres while in the pool. This is the inside of our cabanas, right overlooking the Nile. And then we enjoyed a beautiful sunset. And right outside each of the bandas, this is usually the sight. Monkeys jumping from tree to tree. And check this one out, 3 in a row. We had a delicious barbecue and a chance to take lots of photos with the sun setting. These are new friends, Christine and Angie, and some really old friends, Anne and Laura, and another old friend, Linda. And this is my adopted daughter, Olivia, from Uganda. The sunset truly was glorious. The following night, we had the whole tilapia. And you gotta work pretty hard and know what you're doing in order to make your plate look like this when you're all finished. This is Annie Margaret. She does the work on the ground in Uganda. We've supported her for years, and Arlo Soso's Days for Girls team has sent as many supplies as we could. We brought a big suitcase with PUL, polyurethane laminate, along with this Lily LaMillie doll, so she's Lily's new mama. We brought her some snaps. We brought her a used but working iPad, and she is so thrilled with the support from our team. Thank you, one and all. These are tears of joy. Well, this is the sight that you get to wake up to every morning while at the Nile Porch. It's really something to behold. On our last morning on the Nile, we got to go kayaking. It was great fun, and Victoria had a little buddy joining her. Then we drove to Mbale, and it poured rain. In fact, it even hailed. And this is Mount Elgon Hotel. I got to meet up with some very special friends that I met over 5 years ago. This is Alice. And this is my sweet friend Martha and her little sister Marcella. I really miss their big sister Maya. But what a beautiful sunset again we experienced. And some new tastes. This is jackfruit, and Olivia made the arrangements that we could all try it. It was delicious. Marty and Sue were ready for the barbecue, as were Janine and Annie Margaret. This is my dear friend Olivia and Lillian's husband and family. It was so great to be with those kids again. And here is Doreen, Mackay, and his children. I brought them all glow sticks, and they were the most fun. They'd never seen anything like it. The next morning, we got up early, had a delicious breakfast, and went off to Cure Hospital. Cure Hospital is a teaching hospital that treats neurological needs of children with conditions such as hydrocephalus, spina bifida, and brain tumors. Thanks to Morro Bay Drug and Gifts, we were able to bring a big suitcase full of lots of medications that they really need. Thank you so much, John and Sue Heading. This is the baby's playroom and, of course, the surgical suite. We got to go and talk to babies and mamas and hold babies and pray with mamas and love on them, and we just had an incredibly delightful time. Thanks to Tatsuko Radke, we also brought 12 handmade quilts, and we gave several of them to the nursing director here at Cure Hospital for the mamas who don't have blankets. We left one with Doreen and another one with Francis for his brand new little baby. While at Cure Hospital, Ann Martin also did EMDR therapy again with the mamas. And our job was to hold those babies so the mamas could listen to what Ann was saying. It was not a difficult job. We loved every minute of it. And then they invited us to have lunch with them and another new food. We got to have chapati, which is the flat bread that they make and is so yummy. Off to Impact Church and School, where we've divided into 3 different classrooms. We had a large group of 150 girls that we were teaching all at the same time. Thanks to all the teachers we had, it went splendid. I have the most incredible team of volunteers that make these Days for Girls kits. And because of them, we were able to bring 750 kits to Uganda. I can't thank each and every one of you enough for making so many girls so very happy and making a huge difference. The director of Impact Orphanages took us on a tour. On each one of these bunk beds sleeps 4 children. 2 children on each mattress. And now it's nap time. We left soccer balls and frisbees, as I mentioned before, solar lanterns, hundreds of toothbrushes, and lots of love. The next day we were off to Lira, where we went to a hospital that is directed by a Dr. Opia, and there he does trauma surgeries. So anyone that may have been in war or hurt, wounded tragically, he helps repair. We enjoyed a chapati with omelet inside called a Rolex for lunch. And at that time, Shannon discovered a big family of cockroaches in her backpack. So she's sweeping them out of the little hut where we were into this beautiful garden right outside where we had lunch. Anne had several EMDR therapies here with many of the patients who had been through traumatic situations. And I think she feels that this was one of her most powerful and positive experiences while here in Uganda. One of our team members, Kathleen, brought balloons with also the knowledge of how to make them into all sorts of things, from hats to swords to animals. And the kids sure had fun, along with a few adults. We also brought 88 dresses and over 70 shorts, thanks to Elsie Casita and Susan Chandler's group. The children absolutely loved the dresses and were so incredibly thankful. We left them at a couple of different places, mostly this particular venue at the hospital, but also at a few at Impact Orphanage and Home. Thanks to Bonnie Key, we also had over 20 reading glasses that I left with Dr. Opia, and he was so thankful. Sue Heading brought Shoes That Grow, which are shoes made to last for over 3 years. With buttons, kind of grommets, and Velcro, they can grow with the child. And again, we had 3 or 4 different venues in which she shared the shoes that grow. What a gift. Sue made a difference in 50 lives. Next was Otinawa. Otinawa is a children's village, an orphanage, but it has the most amazing vocational opportunities for kids, from teaching them to do electrical work, to woodworking, to beekeeping, as well as selling honey that they have produced. They also have an area where they teach the kids farming and growing coffee, and they make the most delicious cinnamon rolls that we got to taste. They have a place where they grow chickens and of course have eggs. And in each of the houses is a mama that is over about 6 to 8 children. She helps them with their schoolwork and makes all of their food. This is a staple, cassava.
Okay, this is the pro Francis showing us
Yeah,
how to cut
how
cassava.
to cut cassava. This is our local food.
Now you're gonna cook this.
Yes, for supper.
For supper.
And will you mash it?
Time. But sometimes you smash, but this season you can't get well. You just boiled.
Boil it.
Yeah, you boiled. Then you just eat it. And that.
You look like you've done this before, Francis.
Yes, I know.
You can't put any of us Mzungus on this task. You got lots of help today.
Yeah, he's doing a lot. Has
He
done
is.
right.
Good job, Francis.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it.
We all got a chance to go and help one of the mamas prepare for lunch. I am peeling G-nuts or peanuts. This mama not only takes care of the children, but she does sewing on the side. Here are the children that I enjoyed having lunch with and getting to know. Brought them little Valentine treats and they thought it was just so fun. Oh, we had a few bubbles too. We had a teaching there for 100 children. And here they are actually getting the kits after they've been measured. And here is 100 very, very happy children. Following the distribution, they led us in worship. Following the dance, they had us come up on stage. What a treat. It was such fun. Some members of our team took going on a safari very seriously. We entered the gates, and here we are, ready to go find some animals. We enjoyed a beautiful sunrise, and then our first sighting was a parade, or a herd, whatever you want to call, of elephants. And we saw giraffes aplenty. It was so exciting. And as you notice, the darker giraffes, they're the more mature and older ones. You'll learn something new every day. Nearer to the Chobe Lodge, we saw the hippos and a warthog and some beautiful birds. And then we got settled into the Safari Lodge. They greeted us with a nice cool cloth and a nice drink. And we enjoyed lunch and, of course, got settled into our rooms. And then many people enjoyed the swimming pool, including Olivia and Annie Margaret, who didn't know how to swim and got lessons from a couple of the pros. Sue and Mama Penny and I had fun sporting our outfits that were the same, and we had to move indoors because of the pouring rain for our evening meal. This is our security guard, Agan, who was ever the fun guy to have around, and Hippopotamus Prince. Olivia enjoying our last breakfast before we left, and lots of baboons on our way out. We headed to Restoration Gateway on our way back to Kampala. Lots of sights to see, and this is cassava actually growing in the field as we were heading into Restoration Gateway. These are a couple of the mamas, great friends of Charlene, and we did a teaching to the girls there, gave out 50 kits, and the great joy here was 4 years ago we gave kits to Winnie and Sophie. And here they are 4 years later reporting that the kits still are wonderful and work great. This is the new hospital that's being built there at Restoration Gateway. Again, a beautiful sunset on our way to Kampala. The day before we left, we went to the Akoli quarters in Kampala to see the bead ladies. Danny Rogers Hill sent these beautiful vials of perfume with a gift for the bead ladies, and they were so extremely pleased. And did an EMDR therapy again. Sometimes our job is to hold babies. But this also was a very successful session where she felt lots of people gained freedom from traumatic and tragic events in their lives. Shannon had fun giving out some candy, and following the sessions, all of the ladies came and brought their beads, because this is what they do. The bead ladies make jewelry, and it is incredible. And someone went shopping. Sunday morning, we went to Covenant Nations Church and enjoyed worship. Although it was pouring rain and there was little turnout, it was still very meaningful. We all got to dress up in our new African outfits. Even though there was a jam, everyone was very patient, and we headed to Bethlehem Home. I was anxious to see that the solar light panels and the batteries were still operational 4 years later. And indeed they were. I got to see Peter again, whom I met 5 years ago. And this is Philip, who has a beautiful voice and has cut an album and ready to do his next. We headed then for an evening show at the Indiri Dancers. They put on an African show that is incredible. And in the end, you get a chance to get up and dance yourself. And it is lots and lots of fun. Goodbyes are always hard. Thanks to Charlene, we have a soapstone angel, and thanks to my friend Danny, each person has a gratitude angel. And this was my angel on the trip, Olivia. These are our guards, Agan and Francis, who were just wonderful. And they dropped us off at the VIP access, where we rearranged all of our goods we had just purchased. But I ask you, how could someone lose this and not even know it? We boarded the plane, and once again, 5.5 hours from Entebbe to Dubai, a very short night, and then from Dubai back to LA. I do love Uganda, but this was a very welcome sight to see. And even though the dates changed and we took the trip a little earlier, Charlene made my 65th birthday one I will never forget.
Worship